big man. No helping you quiet. We're going to have so much fun here. We've got one of the most dangerous men in the world right now. DDP is joining us once again. We're doing some fitness, but we're doing it a little bit differently. We're going to be sharing some of the tips and some of the things that I'm definitely sure is going to inspire you, Mzansi, because just like this young man, when he was a youngster, I'm sure he also had inspiring people that were showing him how to do the most. So we're talking about something right now that is involving intensity. We're talking about mixed martial arts. It's a dynamic fitness routine that is required when it comes to being conditioned for the task at hand, especially those fights. It's intense. So this morning we have the privilege of obviously having a fitness session with South African powerhouse, UFC fighter, Dricus Plessis in the building. Go, go, go! Dricus, bro, this is your playground. This is your forte, man. Before we even get into it, I just want to ask you, just take it back, man. When you were a kid, when you were looking up at some of those fighters, some of those Springboks that were inspiring you, some of the people representing South Africa, did you think that you'd be the one inspiring? Did you think you'd be the one flying our flag so high and getting young kids to do exactly what you're doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's every kid's dream. So I mean, it's something, I'm assuming everybody's thinking about, but you know, once you get there, it's almost surreal. It feels, I wouldn't say wrong. It just feels, now that the roles are reversed, it doesn't feel that way up until a kid comes up to you and tells you how you inspired him. It's an amazing part of the job.
Well, listen, as one of the biggest kids in the studio right now, I'm telling you, you are inspiring so many of us, man. You're giving us reasons to wake up, get behind our people, and understand the fact that it's never over until you give in, and you've never done anything close to that. So share with me some of the little basics, some of the tips. I know a lot of people inspired to just move. Obviously, when it comes to MMA, though, you've got to defend yourself in crazy ways. It's not just punches, but kicks. You can use any part of your weapon. How do you defend everything coming at you in MMA?
That's the one thing. I can't really give you one technique to defend everything because I don't think it exists. But a lot of the time it's basically just flinching. No, I'm just joking.
How have you survived some of the biggest fights in literally South African history to date, man, in the world?
The big thing with this is I see it a lot at our gym at home, CIT, when we, especially with the ladies' fitness or the guys that just want to get into this for the fun of it, you know, get active. It's an incredible workout. Is when you are doing this, you can be just hitting the bag. That's great. You can be, but while you're there, you might as well learn a new life skill, learn a technique, and learn some self-defense on the way. So
let's do exactly that, bro. What do you got?
Exactly. So I mean, we don't have a bag right now, but I can just be explaining on how to throw proper punches.
It's probably the scariest bag in the history of bags, just by the way.
No, you're the bag, man.
Oh, I'm the bag. Hang on, can I just get it? Okay, yeah.
So
talk to me.
When people are punching, I just see this a lot, and that's not helpful at all. So people are just doing this for exercise. Like I said, it's fine, but while you're there, might as well learn a life skill. So while you're punching, you always want to be seeing your hands, getting your hands up high enough.
All right.
Having them firm, because if you're doing this, I see people punching down, you're not going to fight,
What am I hitting, like your picks?
You can't be fighting, you can't be fighting kids. You shouldn't be fighting kids.
Yes,
so
100%.
If you're here, get your hands up high and punch straight to where your own nose would be, directly. So and look at how I'm turning my hands. I'm turning my hands
and
the whole time.
And how come you're punching with not only your arms, but you're using your body as well? Is that part of it?
The biggest thing is when I tell people when they start this at first is you have to realize your arm is not that strong.
Well, yours might be, but
it depends on who you ask. And the big thing is, look at as I'm throwing, I'm using my whole body.
Oh yeah,
it's not even punching with my arm at all. It's literally the rotation of my hips that bring the power.
So this is the reason why gents like you actually have big legs. I thought it was just for show.
Well, only one is big though.
Is that the KO one?
I'm like the tennis players, only one big arm.
Was that Rafael? Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, this is
I get you. So we're using the body, we're using that torso as well. Yes. So core is important, right?
Core is the most important part. And this is where your power is. You're a lot stronger on your hips and your legs than you are on your arms.
Okay, cool. That makes sense.
A big and to add with the defense on the same note is when you're punching, you can't be just punching here. If you're fighting somebody, at the end of the day, you want to be protected at the same side that you're throwing.
So the bag fights back in this instant.
This bag has arms. So when I'm punching that side, look at this hand. It's right up here. So when he's throwing on the, because we're throwing opposite hands.
If I wanted to come in for
this is up. So that's the important part. And you see it if you watch boxing, if you watch fights, a lot of times people do get knocked out. They're throwing with this hand and this hand's...
And then I'm leaving myself vulnerable.
Vulnerable with the other side. So very important is try to almost think about before one hand can leave, the other one needs to be back already. And look how I'm turning the hand. And this is going to give you a much harder workout.
Got you, because now you're constantly not only just punching, but you're using your entire body, concentrating, hand-eye coordination as well.
Now you're learning a cool skill with that. And then, of course, we have kicks, which is, for most people, it looks a lot easier than it is.
Yeah.
I've seen this. I've seen people kicking bags, and they don't realize how hard it is, and really hurting themselves. But
so what tips you got for that? Yeah.
When it comes to kicking, exactly the same as punching. My kicking is not coming from my leg; it's coming from my hips. So when I'm kicking, look, I'm using my whole. I'm kicking.
Oh, you're like kind of leading with the hip as well. Yeah.
I'm really kicking low at first, up until you get the flexibility, which comes with the stretching, and also a very important part of any fitness. And kicking low and starting low and going higher as you progress.
Okay, so you're not just pumping it and clapping it in the gym. You're working on mobility. You're working on some stretches, trying to get that range so the leg can get high enough for maybe like a little kick in the back.
I know, exactly. So what I always tell people is, I'm not the most flexible guy in the world, but I can do this.
Okay, wow, I didn't even see that. That was quite quick as well.
The big thing with that is it's not only flexibility, it's the mobility you have to be able to lift your leg. And like you said, it's joint health at the end of the day. If you're just going to try and kick, you're going to tear something, kick high at first. So the warm-up, the stretches, all of that. So, I mean, if you start combining this, it's a much, well, for me, it's much less boring than just running.
Okay. Thank you, man. I know there's so much more that goes into this, but just getting a little bit of the insight and also understanding the fact that although we put you on such a huge pedestal, although you can probably take out any in the world, it's good to know that you are actually a human being. That means that you youngsters out there that are watching this man, that are being inspired, believe it or not, you can do this and so much more, man. I'm telling you, this guy has laid a foundation for people in South Africa that can truly get behind. So I want to say thank you, brother, for doing the absolute most. Flying South Africa's flag high, and we're backing you in your corner. Team DDP, here to stay, baby. And we're wishing nothing but the best of luck, bro.
Thank you, my man. It was great.
Love it.